I might keep this kind of brief tonight because honestly, I love you guys, but it's taking everything in me to have the energy to do this, as you guys probably know from all my texts and the video that I just made. But we're going to do it, and we're going to talk about 10 steps on how to be a total badass, because I need that right now too. This is something that I learned at the conference, and I'm not even going to go through like all the normal updates and all that spiel, but I will say we have 4 days to get Success Club, and I myself am at 4, so I will be pushing. I sent out a couple follow-up messages a few minutes ago, so we have 4 days left for Success Club. And what else was I going to say? Oh, and congrats to Shantae, who's, I don't think, no, that's not her on the phone. Congrats to Shantae for rank advancing to Emerald today. Whoop, whoop. Did anyone else raise your hand if you had a rank advancement on your team, or if you rank advanced yourself? No. Okay, cool. So yay. Is there anything else I was gonna say? I don't think so. So yeah, let's just go ahead and go straight into 10 steps to become a total badass. This lady, well, let me tell you guys a little bit about what this conference was. I have gone to Eric Worre's conference the last 2 years. So the one in October will be my third one. And I just have to say, like, I know that you guys all know my story, and I don't want to sound like a broken record, but it's kind of important to bring my story in because we're talking about Eric Worre. As you guys know, like my first 9 months of my business, I really struggled because I didn't have like belief in myself. I didn't want to push out of my comfort zones and talk to people because I didn't want to be a salesperson, blah, blah, blah. Then I went to Danny Johnson, and that really helped me like build the belief in myself and realize that I could really do this to help people. So that helped me a lot. But then when I went to Eric Worre in 2013, it was like I had the hugest light bulb moment ever. Like, I would say that Eric Worre and Tony Robbins were the like two most pivotal events that I've ever been to. And the reason why it was pivotal for me is because when I became a coach, we didn't have training or anything like that. My upline, Lindsay, she did everything that she could to support us, but we didn't have training. Myself and some of the other leaders on her team worked with her to help her create a training, which is similar to like what we have on our team now. But because I still felt a little bit lost. Like, what am I doing? Like, things just felt so complicated. When I went to Eric Worre's event, it was like he simplified it all and made it so easy. And he is the exact person that I learned how to recruit from like I do. I mean, I haven't recruited big numbers these last few months just because of life and, trying to figure out who I am, like I told you guys in the video, and travels and all that. But I mean, he just makes everything so easy. And there's other people at his event from other network marketing companies. So it's not just Beachbody people. I love Beachbody people, but it's really cool to meet people from other companies that have been around a lot longer than Beachbody, because Beachbody is such a new company. So like the connections that I've made at those conferences, that's another really big thing. And it really just shows you the big picture. I mean, there are people on the stage, you guys, that earn like more than $1 million a month. Like, that's insane to me. And it's not all about the money. Like, that is probably the last thing that I care about, but it just shows you like how far you can go with this kind of business. And I mean, like I said, I don't care about the money, but if I was making $1 million a month, I think I could help a shit ton of people. Like, I could like buy my parents a house and do all this kind of cool stuff. Now I'm kind of going all over the place, but anyways, I kind of just wanted to give you like the context, or whatever the word is, about Eric Worre's conferences. So this particular conference was called The Most Powerful Women in Network Marketing. So I want you guys to all raise your hand real quick, by the way, if you read GoPro. I'm pretty sure everyone on here has. GoPro is like a freaking life changer. Love Eric Worre. He looks like a little baby Elmer Fudd, and I just want to pet his head, and I have pictures with him, and next time I take a picture with him, I should ask him if I can pet his head. But anyway, yes, Eric Worre is freaking amazing. So this particular conference, it was the first one like this that they did. It was called The Most Powerful Women in Network Marketing. So it was 2.5 days long. Milan Jensen, who is one of the founding coaches, and she's our upline, like, I mean, 8 million levels up, but she's in our upline. She was the one that invited me to go because they had an extra ticket, and it was like 2 days before it started, she invited me. So she was actually one of the speakers, and it was really cool. to learn from other leaders in other industries. And I was actually shocked because two people that spoke, their stories were kind of similar to mine, and even their income was. And I'm like, oh, I guess I kind of do know what I'm doing. And I'm not trying to say that to sound cocky, but like Buddha, rub it for good luck. Yes, I should ask him if I can do that. But anyways, it was really cool just to hear many different stories, because there's people that have stories like me and people that make $1 million a month. So GoPro is coming up, and some of you on here are going with me to GoPro in October. It's the 14th through the 17th. It's going to be really freaking awesome. I have 10 tickets altogether, so I'm really excited to take some people and with me to get to learn, because these conferences like are game changers. Like when I first started, I'm going off on a little bit of a tangent right now, but I started going to these conferences like before I could afford it, honestly. Like, I'm not telling people to go into debt or anything like that, but what's the word? Investing in myself. And I didn't care. I just figured out a way to make it happen. And I have no doubt in my mind that if I wouldn't have figured out how to get to these conferences, I wouldn't be where I am today, because you can personal development the shit out of yourself, but it's just not the same thing as going to a conference. And I'm sure that you guys know that, like almost all of you on here have been to Summit. So, I mean, going to Summit compared to like listening to GoPro, like it's way different. So anyways, that's just kind of a context of the conference. It was freaking amazing. Oh, hi, Max. This particular speaker, she was teaching about 10 ways to build self-confidence, but I like to use the term badass. So of course we had to say 10 steps to becoming a total badass. So her name, I don't know if you guys want to write it down or not. She was this like very put together, like educated. She doesn't dress like me. Let's just say that. She was very polished looking. She wasn't like dressed up like she's going to the beach. She was very polished, very put together. Her name is Gloria Mayfield Banks. And she just talked a lot about, well, and here's another thing I want to mention before I say what she's talked about. Well, okay, let me ask another question. Raise your hand if you guys are doing affirmations right now. Even though I've been a hot effing mess all week, I've still been doing them. I've been screaming at myself in my mirror, like, you are amazing. So all of these people at this conference, like I have probably a half notebook of notes, like 50 pages of notes. And out of all the speakers, every single person that talked about belief and affirmations and visualizing and like vision boards and all that stuff, and how that's like one of the most important things, which all goes back to the same thing I've been rambling on about since I went to Tony Robbins last year, that 80% is belief. So Gloria started out by talking about how we have to talk positively to ourselves when we like wake up. It has to be the first thing that we do every day. Because I don't know about you guys, but I struggle when I get out of bed. Like, raise your hand. Do you like struggle and like talk negatively to yourself when you wake up? Because I know I do. Like, I'll just be like, oh, I'm tired. I'm a busted can of biscuits today. I don't want to do this. Like, I suck. I mean, I'm just being real. So we have to like be nice to ourselves, and in order to take away all these stories in our heads that we all tell ourselves, we have to reprogram ourselves and reprogram our minds. And that's why personal development is so important, but also positive affirmations. I'm not going to go into what that is, because I'm pretty sure since you guys are on my team, we all know what those are by now. But they are so freaking important. And if you don't know about positive affirmations, just type in the chat box and I'll answer questions. But she was just talking about that, talking nicely to yourself, being positive. Let's see. Okay, I don't want to mention that. So when she started talking about confidence, she started out by saying that she was a victim of domestic violence, and she had to like rebuild her whole life because of that. So if this woman who was a victim of domestic violence can go on stage and be one of the most powerful women in network marketing and have her total shit together, then I think like we can do the same thing. And I'm saying that to myself too, because I need to hear that right now. So don't think that I'm trying to talk down to you guys. But I mean, her story just shows you that like anyone can do it. And confidence is one of the most important things that you can have. If you can have confidence and belief, like you can really do anything that you want to. As kooky as that sounds, what is that quote? Like, anything that you believe you can achieve. I don't know. Maybe someone knows the quote. I'm not making much sense right now. Let's see. She also talked about, and this is probably what I'm going through right now. She said, when you have confidence, you're going to have to build it. And then once you get to the next level, you're going to have to start over and rebuild again. So it's an ongoing process that goes on your whole life. Robin said you can achieve what the mind conceives. Thank you, Robin, because I could not remember what it was. And she also mentioned to be an amazing leader, we have to teach others how to have confidence too. Confidence attracts other people so that you don't have to like go out there and attack people to come join your network marketing business. And if you're like sitting here before I'm even going into the 10 steps thinking like, well, how can I be confident? Like, how should I act? Just be you. Like, that's what people want to be. When you're being authentically yourself, you will feel more confident and you will feel, and I think that's another thing that I've been going through too. Like the less shits I stopped giving about what people thought about me, like the more free it feels. And I lived so long not being that way. So that's probably part of like what I'm going through right now. But you really just have to be you, and like, whoever wants to work with you, they're going to work with you. And those other ones, they're not meant to be. So she also said, before I get into the 10 steps, to fake it till you make it and just smile. If you don't know the answer to something, just smile. Just, yeah, it's all good, right? Okay, so the 10 steps. The first step is to be on purpose with building your confidence. So she talked a lot about becoming competent before you become confident. So that basically just means getting the skills that you need to have to be successful in this business, because the more that you know and the more that you practice, the better you're going to feel. You won't dread opening your inbox, sending messages, because you'll have practiced it before and you'll know that you're going to rock it because you know what to say. Or when someone asks you a question about what's in Shakeology, you'll know how to answer them. And like, don't fret. You don't have to know everything, because there's still tons of stuff that I don't know. I'm still learning about Shakeology. I still don't know everything about every product that we have. But the more that we can know, the better prepared we're going to feel, and that'll make us more confident when we're in any kind of situation or any conversation with people. So that would be the first thing. And ways that you might implement that into your business, maybe it's just like when I started, what I did is I went into the back office and I just looked over all the products, and there's like talking points on each product. I don't feel that it's the most important thing to know everything about our products, because if you know more about the people that you're talking to, that's what matters. But to have a little bit of knowledge about each product is really good. There's tons of information under products and training in the back office that you can look up and kind of just get to know a few key points about what each of the workouts are, and like who they would be good for and stuff like that. So the second thing would be to set a right now 30-day non-negotiable goal. So the point of that is because when you set a goal that's non-negotiable, you're going to go forward with like all of your might to reach that goal. And when you create small successes one after another, that's going to create confidence. So if you have a really big goal and you don't know how you're going to get there, the best thing that you can do is break it down into 12 months, and then into each month, and then into each week, and then into each day. So if you want to be a diamond coach by the end of the month, well, it's almost the end of the month, but we're just still going to go with that because there's still 4 days. So you can totally do it. If you want to be a diamond by the end of the month, reverse engineer that goal and say you need 2 more coaches to be a diamond. So about 10% of people say yes. So you would need to go talk to about 20 people if you want to achieve diamond, if that's the only thing you needed to get there. So that's just an example. But let's see. If you're feeling discouraged, I think this is the best thing that you can do. This is what I'm going to do this weekend is when I go to the beach, I'm going to figure out what the hell is my goal and what am I going after, and then figure out what I can make happen in September. So the thing with the goal being non-negotiable is whenever you decide what it is, you have to be willing to like keep going and keep going and keep going and like don't stop until it's like midnight the last day of the month. And I've been through that before, you guys. When our team was pushing to elite at the end of the year, there were many different deadlines associated with that. And there were many of us that were on pins and needles at like 11:59 Eastern time, because that's when rank like the last day, Wednesday night, 11:59 Eastern time. I remember being on my phone on New Year's Eve, like having to check stuff, which yeah, we won't go there. But anyways, I was committed to it. I wanted to make it happen because it was important. It was a team goal and I wanted all of us to do it together. So it was important to me. So it was worth that sacrifice at the time. So I'm saying all that to just say that you have to do everything. When you find out your non-negotiable goal, you have to do everything and don't stop until I'm not going to say it's too late, but if your deadline is the 30th, then do not stop until right before. So that's the second thing. And I apologize if I'm going all over the place. My mind's a little bit scattered right now, and I'm trying to do the best I can. Number 3 is to study what you don't know. So that's a little bit about like what we talked about earlier about being more competent. So the thing is we kind of just have to let go, and we don't have to pretend that we know stuff that we don't know. Like you guys, like when people ask me a question, I don't know the answer. I'm just honest. I'm like, I really don't know, but let me go find out the answer for that. And if they find it out first, then I will just say, hey, will you let me know? So that way I can know the answer. So let's see. She said something about, that was really funny to me because it was a network marketing conference. And she's like, stop pretending that you don't know how to invite and just go do it, because we all know how to invite. And the more that we do it and practice it, the easier that it'll get. This is one thing that she said, that this is something that I did when I used to work full time. I stopped watching TV and I used that time to do personal development. I made my car, like they all refer to it as like a rolling university, by listening to audio and podcasts and stuff like that whenever you're driving. That's something I still do. I still don't have a TV. I gave it to my brother when I moved and I haven't gotten a new one. So that's kind of it when it comes to the point number 3. I'm sorry, I'm just going through all the notes to make sure I'm not leaving anything out. So just focus on doing things that will educate you more on whatever area it is that you need to focus on in your business. So if you want to be a better recruiter, go watch Eric Worre's freaking YouTube channel. He has tons of videos. If you want to be better at inviting, there's tons of videos about that. So, okay, on to point number 4. 4th thing to do is to make goal posters. So this is like a vision board, but she called them goal posters. And she said to put them everywhere. This is something that I've not heard before, but it makes total sense. She wants you to do it every single month. And she says to put one in your bedroom, one in your bathroom, one on your kitchen cabinet, one in your car, and then the 5th one directly over your TV if you have a TV. Because she said the point of that is we're like, just like affirmations, we're feeding our subconscious mind. So we're going to focus on it and we're going to track that into our life. Now, if it's not like a complete like goal vision poster, whatever, like you can still write down your goals and put it in different areas of your house. I have done that before and it does really work. And every time I see it, I will say it out loud. So let's see. She said to not take them down until you reach the goal. And whenever you're thinking, like I said earlier, about your big goal, like whatever you want to achieve, just break that down into baby steps when you're making each month. So like I just made, I'll screen share. I made a new one on my laptop. It's kind of vague. It doesn't have anything business on it right now because I'm still figuring that out. But I made that one when I couldn't sleep at some point in time over the weekend. So whenever I figure out what my goals are, I'm going to make some vision posters for my apartment too. But that is one thing that I've always done, is put my vision board on my laptop and on my phone, because like I said, what you focus on is what you'll get. So point number 5, guard your circle of influence. This is huge. And this is something like when I started Beachbody, I've had to remake friends several times in my life just because I've like grown out of certain stages. Like when I stopped partying, I had to go make friends that didn't party. When I stopped doing other stuff, I had to go make friends and didn't do that stuff anymore. And when I started Beachbody, I had to make friends again, because the thing is we are who we surround ourselves with. You are the result of you're the average of the 5 people that you spend your most time with. So if you have like the naysayers and the negative people in your life, just know that that's normal. We've all had them before. I had tons of them in my life when I started this. And it did take a little bit of time to weed people out. And I avoided it for a long time because I felt bad, because I love everybody and I have a big heart to help everybody. But it gets exhausting when people are just negative all the time. And You can't go to them with the conversation without them complaining about something all the time. I mean, I know I've been a hot effing mess this week and I've been crying, but I think that's a difference between like sitting there and just complaining all the time about how much life sucks. So if you're around people like that, you're going to feel that way too. So you have to guard yourself, and you have to surround yourself with people that are confident, or they're working on being confident just like you. Because everybody that you meet, they're either going to take you up or take you down. And that's something that I'm still trying to figure out as I moved here. I've met a ton of people already, and they're all super sweet people, but a lot of people that aren't entrepreneurs, or they're not in network marketing, they're not as focused on like the positive personal development that we are. So it does still make it a struggle to be around some people. So just know that it's normal. And if you have people like that in your life, there is another speaker that talked about it, and it would probably take me forever to find it. But they just kind of said, or it was Eric that was talking about it actually. He said that if you have people like that in your life, then just say to those people, like, be honest with them. Like, if they put your business down, be honest with them. Like, that's not cool. Like, I'm doing this, and you kind of tell them what your goal is and why you're doing it. And then just ask them to be your biggest cheerleader and be there to support you. And that'll shut them right up. So if you have those negative naysayers in your life, know it's normal and just be upfront and honest with them. Okay. The sixth thing is be strategic. So let me see, I'm reading what I wrote. Okay. So this all goes back to focusing on what makes you excited about this business, and not caring what motivates you, because some people are motivated by money. Some people are motivated by helping people. Some people are motivated by numbers. Some people are motivated by clothes, or, I mean, I'm pretty motivated by clothes, let's be honest. That doesn't even really make sense. I mean, when I think about clothes, it doesn't motivate me to work, but like, that's something I like to buy. But just accept and realize that we're all going to be motivated by different things, and just focus on and be strategic about what that is that is making you passionate, or what am I trying to say? That point, I think you guys got it. I don't really have anything else to say there. I'm sorry. Again, I'm like struggling right now trying to put all this together. The seventh point is change and become coachable. So this is something, like, I've always been coachable since I started this business, and I've always you just have to be a sponge. You have to be willing to listen to whatever advice it may be that you hear from your sponsor, from personal development, from other people in the team. We all are figuring stuff out, and we all have strengths and weaknesses. And I mean, that's the biggest thing about learning how to be successful in this business, is to be coachable and be willing to accept constructive criticism. I don't even like to call it constructive criticism, but just advice. I mean, there are so many times, like, when I would go to Lindsay in the beginning, and I'd be like, girl, can you please just tell me like how much I suck at this one thing? Or like, I really just need real advice. And whenever you're able to take advice that someone gives you, because they're giving it to you to make it better, and you can make changes based on that, then you're going to like go above and beyond. And you guys are typing in the chat box. You're going to achieve anything you want to achieve if you're willing to take advice from people that have already achieved whatever it is that you're looking to achieve. I told my daughter the other day to stop being negative. You're raining on my parade. Mary said, I tell my family members all the time, you're being negative, or no negative comments. Amen. Told her to get her training done. She wants to be a coach. So get to it, PD girl. Love it. Yes. And honestly, I love my parents to the moon and back. But sometimes when I'm around them, I'm like, guys, I can't. Like, let's be happy right now. Let's see. So, and with changing, as you guys know, based on my video, and I know change is hard. I just went through probably the biggest change I've ever gone through in my life. I mean, I've been divorced. I've done all kinds, lost 60 pounds, done all kinds of crazy things. But like moving cross country, it's like a big change. But staying the same is harder. And that's something that this speaker said. And I think I needed to see that right now, because when we get complacent, life gets really boring. And it does get harder because, oh, we have 10 minutes left. I should probably get to making all my points. Okay, we only have 2 points left. So whenever someone's giving you advice or coaching you, just be willing to accept that and make changes based on what they're saying. And the last thing about being coachable and change is not comparing yourself to other people. I am the worst at doing that, and I get better and then I start doing it again. But everyone has a different journey. We're all so different. And when you compare yourself to what you see people posting online, you're comparing what you think is your worst to their best, because they're only posting their best online. So don't look at other people. Keep your blinders on when it comes to being in this business. And the 8th point is to increase your persuasion skills. So just keep telling yourself, this all goes back to the fact that Beachbody, it is about helping people, but ultimately we're in sales. So that's why we recommend books like Brian Tracy, The Art of Closing a Sale, because everyone's going to have objections and fears. And we're not trying to be persuasive to like get people to buy more stuff. We have to be persuasive so we can help people. And that's one thing that I finally realized of like why I had to improve in my skills, because I wouldn't have helped anybody if I couldn't learn how to be more persuasive. Because when people have objections, it's just a fear. Or if people have questions or hesitations, it's just a fear. So our jobs are to help people overcome those fears that they have. Did you say that change is harder, but staying the same is harder? I love that. Yes. So we have to learn how to be more persuasive, and we just have to tell ourselves, like the whole affirmations things, that we got this, that we are closing every person that we talk to because we want to help them. So, and this is something that the speaker said, our job is to persuade others to do what they've been wanting to do. And we encourage them to dream bigger. And that's basically like what I just said. Everyone wants to be happier. Everyone wants to have freedom. Everyone wants to have financial freedom. Everyone wants the kind of life that we're able to live because of being a coach. Everyone does, even if they don't admit it to you. Even if they're your biggest hater, it's probably because they're jealous. Let's just say that. That's one thing that I've learned. Everyone wants to do it. So when it comes to persuading people, we're just helping them make the decision that they're afraid to make. So the 9th point is to be careful about your image. Now, when I say that, I don't mean that you have to like wear a suit, because obviously I do not do that. I sold all of my suits when I quit my job. But, don't, and none of us do this, but this is one point that she said, and I just have to say it because it's in the notes. We have to constantly portray a good example because the world is watching us. And our teams are watching us. And this is probably part of the reason why I didn't share what I was going through until today, because I'm like, oh my gosh, like all these people are watching me. Like I have to be a good example. But I was wrong. I should have shared sooner. So I'm sorry for that, guys. But we do have to be careful about what we post on Facebook. We can't be posting pictures, one picture like, ooh, me and my Shakeology, and then the next picture like us with like a bottle of Grey Goose, like, popping bottles. And like, I will post pictures of my champagne and stuff like that, but if we're like posting pictures of us like in some hoochie shorts going to the club, like popping Grey Goose bottles, like that is not showing a good example. Now, again, I'm not saying that anyone on this team does that, but we're talking about this point. So we have to be careful about what we post. And if we're having a bad day, we have to turn it around and make it into something good. We have to be the light in the room. We have to be the encourager, which I know all of us are. And this is something that she said that I thought was really funny too. She said, when you're in a group of people and you walk away, they're all going to talk about you. So you decide what you want them to say. So that she was just kind of saying that to, be the example and be the light. And the 10th thing that she said to do is to track your activity. So like one thing that I do is I don't track it in a spreadsheet, but Eric Worre, this is something I'll teach about on another call. He gave us some tips on how to track your growth in a spreadsheet. I will go back and look at my commissions from what I was earning a year ago, because what I was earning a year ago in 1 month, I now earn in a week. So that is very encouraging and gives me lots of confidence to go back and look at that. Because you're going to see over time your activity growing. And so often in this business, what we're doing right now, we won't see the results in for a few months, because not everyone's going to say yes right away. And sometimes it takes longer than that. honestly, when I was pushing for our team to be elite at the end of the year, it took about 3 to 6 months to start seeing the income go up from all of that hard work that we put in, but it was worth it. So tracking our activity over time will help remind us that even though it doesn't feel like we're growing right now, we still are growing. And it will bring you energy and make you excited about it all. I see that some of you guys typed in the chat box. Hang on. What do you feel about sharing politics? That is not something that I know anything about, so I don't talk about it. And if someone brings it up, I'm just like, I don't know anything about it, so I'm not going to talk about it. That's just one of those things that's, I don't know. That's just how I handle it. Your brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. Ooh, I love that quote, Robin. Thanks for sharing. But yeah, Mary, if someone brings up politics and you don't feel comfortable, I would just say I don't usually talk about that topic. So let's talk about something else. How about we talk about health and fitness? Eric threw in, I'll go over the 10 points real quick, but Eric threw in a couple of things because he was speaking after each speaker. So his 3 quick tips were, number 1, understand network marketing, about how freaking huge it is, like our earning potential. Like we can earn $1 million a month. Like that's insane. And that we can teach other people to do that. Number 2, to have skills. So like I was saying earlier, learn how to handle objections, learn how to close people, learn how to recruit, practice. That's the only thing that makes you better at the skills. That's the only way that I've gotten better at it. And then the number 3 is to examine your programming, which is what we were talking about at the beginning of the call, reprogramming and guarding our mind from all the negative thoughts that come in. So thanks for bearing with me, guys. I am going to go back through all the 10 points. And normally I would be more interactive and ask questions and stuff, but we only have 3 minutes left. So the first thing is to be on purpose with building your confidence. The second thing is to set a right now 30-day non-negotiable goal. Okay, sorry. The third thing is to study what you don't know. Number 4 is to make goal posters. Number 5 is guard your circle of influence. Number 6, be strategic. Don't care about what motivates you. Number 7 is to change and become coachable. Number 8 is to increase your persuasion skills. Number 9, be careful about your image. No popping bottles with your coochie cutter shorts on. Number 10, track your activity. All right. Okay, so we still have 2 minutes and 22 seconds left on here. So I will do a giveaway. I'll do a random number generator. So type in the chat box a number, let's say 1 through 50. And I'll announce who the winner is. Let me stop recording too.